The sound was worse than silence. It was a single, hard sob, a deep, broken sound Eleanor had never heard from her grown son's voice. Eleanor was in the kitchen, making a cup of tea. It was 11:30 p.m. Her son, Liam, was 1,000 miles away, building a career, a big, strong life. He was always steady, quiet, and careful. Not tonight. "Mom," Liam whispered, his voice so tight it barely sounded like him. "Listen to me, Mom. This is serious. I need you to go to your computer right now. Please, delete everything about me. Every photo, every school record, every text, everything with my name on it." Eleanor dropped the spoon. It hit the floor tiles with a loud clang that echoed in the empty kitchen. The tea water turned instantly cold. "What are you saying? Why? Who is making you do this, Liam? Tell me the truth." "I can't say. They are very close to finding me. Please, Mom, I'm sending a box. It is the only important thing left that matters. When it comes, hide it. Don't look at it. If anyone comes to the door, anyone at all, you must look them in the eye and say, 'I have no son named Liam.' Do you understand? You must forget me to save me." The line went dead, leaving Eleanor alone with the dial tone. She stood there, shaking. The house that had been too quiet now felt full of noise, the noise of a coming threat. She didn't feel like a relaxed, retired mother anymore. She felt like a soldier receiving a final, impossible order. Liam wasn't just in trouble. He was asking her to erase his entire life from her house and her heart to save it. She walked slowly to the computer. Her hands trembled over the mouse. The screen lit up, showing a folder named Liam's Life. Inside were 30 years of history. The photo of him losing his first tooth, the video of his college graduation, the long, sweet letter he wrote before he left for his first job. Deleting it felt like tearing pages out of her own book, destroying the proof that her family's best moments ever existed. She cried softly while hitting the delete key. She wanted to print everything, but Liam said everything. It was a sacrifice. It was an act of terrible, terrifying trust. She cleared the browser history. She deleted the contact from her phone. When she finished, the house felt colder, emptier. She had followed his order, but the loss of those small memories was a physical pain. The package arrived Saturday morning. It was not a cardboard box. It was a heavy, black metal cube, sealed tight with big, silver bolts. It was cold to the touch and had no sender name. The only sign was a bright red sticker placed right on the top. "Dangerous, do not open, high value." Eleanor quickly dragged the heavy box from the porch. The weight made her muscles burn. This was not a sentimental gift. This felt like a dangerous weapon or stolen property. She pulled it into the garage, but the space felt too open, too public. The shelves and paint cans felt like thin paper over the huge problem she was now hiding. She put the metal cube under the heavy, dusty workbench, piling old tools, thick cloth, and 2 heavy tires on top. She made sure it was completely hidden from anyone looking in the window. That night, sleep would not come. She kept seeing the black metal box in her mind, and every shadow outside her window looked like a person waiting. On Sunday afternoon, the surveillance began. She was making a sandwich when she looked out the window and saw it. A large, dark car moving slowly, like a snake hunting in the grass. It was completely black, with tinted windows, and it stopped 2 houses down. A man in a dark suit got out. He didn't look like a nice neighbor walking a dog. He looked sharp, hard, and quiet. He looked like someone who came to find what was lost. Eleanor dropped her sandwich and ran into the darkest corner of the kitchen, near the pantry. She looked through the curtain, her heart hammering against her ribs like a drum. The man walked up to her house. He didn't ring the doorbell. He walked slowly, staring at the windows, checking the path. He slowly walked all around the mailbox and the front yard. He was searching for something. He pulled out a phone and spoke quietly into it, his eyes fixed on Eleanor's front door, almost as if he knew she was watching. Then he got back in the car and slowly drove away. Eleanor didn't breathe until the sound of the car was completely gone. They knew where she lived. They were looking for the metal box. On Monday, the dark car drove by again, even slower this time. The man in the suit was driving. He didn't stop, but his eyes moved from window to window, checking the house. Eleanor hid in the bedroom until nightfall. For 3 days, Liam only sent one single short text, always after midnight. Safe. Be quiet. He gave no answers. He gave no comfort. Eleanor was alone with the fear. She had to know what she was risking her life and home for. Her adult son had asked her to be a vault, but the pressure was too much. On Wednesday, Eleanor couldn't wait another minute. The silence and the fear were worse than any truth could be. She found a strong metal tool and carried the heavy box from the garage inside, locking all the doors and drawing the blinds. My son is in trouble, she thought. If this is a bomb or illegal, I need to know. My love for him is bigger than his rule. It took all her strength to bend the metal clamps holding the lid shut. She pushed and pulled, breathing hard. Finally, the clamps failed, and the lid sprang up with a loud, sharp thwack. Eleanor leaned over the box, ready for anything. A heavy bag of money, a gun, something she shouldn't touch. The box was lined with thick, expensive, soft foam. In the center, there was only one single small object, a beautiful, smooth stone, polished until it shined like a perfect silver star. It was round and serene. Eleanor felt dizzy, confused. Why the panic? Why the terror? Why the dark car for a polished rock? She reached in and lifted the stone. It was strangely heavy and cold, a piece of deep space. Underneath, she found a sheet of thick paper, folded in half. It was a letter written by Liam. Mom, if you are reading this, your love for me was bigger than your fear. Thank you for caring enough to break my rule. You are the only person I trust completely with my freedom. This stone is a space rock, a meteorite. I spent the last year secretly inventing a new high-strength material for a company I planned to start. My current company found out what I was doing. They are trying to stop me, saying this new material belongs to them because I was still working there. The man in the dark car is not a criminal. He is an investigator from my old company's law team. If they find this stone, the only sample of my own design, they will lock up my ideas forever. I had to disappear for a week, and I couldn't risk them taking the only thing that matters, the chance to live the life I truly want, free from my old job. I knew I needed time to start. I needed a vault that nobody would ever look in, a place that was more protected than any bank or company safe. The only vault I know is the quiet, safe heart of my first home, the house where I grew up. Thank you for being the keeper of my most valuable secret. You didn't save me from a criminal. You saved my life, Mom, by keeping my dreams safe. I love you. Liam. Eleanor sat on the floor, holding the cool, heavy meteorite in one hand and the letter in the other. The terrible fear that she had carried for days went away instantly, replaced by a wave of fierce, joyful pride. She was not needed for small daily tasks anymore. She was needed for the biggest task of all, being a sanctuary, a secret partner in her adult son's biggest risk. She was the firm, steady ground upon which his big, new adult life was being built. The empty nest was not a place of loss and quiet sadness. It was a place of sacred trust and hope. She was not just his mother. She was his silent partner, his protector, and the securest vault in his entire world.